today, as well as an ability to provide some feedback and claim credit for your attendance. So if you could do that, that would be wonderful. And also, I just want to let you know that we will be recording, particularly in the didactic portion of the program, the presentation that Jane will be doing. So at this time, I'm going to throw this over to Dr. Cervantes. Dr. Cervantes will be our facilitator for today's session. Thank you, Dr. Cervantes.
Thanks, Susanna. Well, it's great to see everyone after the summer little hiatus. It was nice to, hopefully everyone was able to get out a little bit, maybe do a little bit of travel, separate yourselves from this the COVID spike we're seeing. So I just wanted to see if just little quick poll in the chat. Did anybody do anything fun, go anywhere, travel, do anything fun over the little break that we had? Did anybody, if you could put that in the chat, anything you did that was fun, exciting, travel, anything? Oh, Mexico. Me too, Samantha. I also went to Mexico. It's nice. Anyone else?
I went to Northern California for a week and to visit my daughter and her family and celebrate my older grandson's 8th birthday. And the hottest it got was 74.
Oh, that is 74. What a dream. You walk out and it is an oven outside here. Oh my gosh. Oh, I see Arkansas. That's nice. Very nice. Hot Springs. Oh, nice. Oh, a golf tournament in Kansas. That must have been nice. Hopefully the weather was cooperative and it wasn't just dying of heat. So hopefully that went well. All right, good. Seems like people they were able to get out and enjoy their summer a little bit and kind of self-care on summer vacay time. So that's good. That's good. I also went to Mexico. So again, that was very nice. I went on a cruise and then I also went to Mexico to visit some family. So that was very nice. It'd been a while. So that was good times. All right. Well, I'm glad to see, I'm seeing some familiar faces, seeing some familiar names. So that's nice. It's good to see everybody. We are kicking off this series. And Susanna, feel free to jump in if I say anything incorrectly, but I believe we're going to be doing this now once a month. And our format is going to be where there is going to be, of course, an educational portion and then a case presentation for some discussion. And of course, the infection prevention update that will be provided as it has been previously. So we will go ahead and get started. Today, Jane Oderberg she is going to be providing her presentation on communication strategies for families. So if you want to kick it off, Jane?
I will share the screen, and while I'm doing that, I do want to put a little bug in folks' ears, since we're going to be doing a case presentation each time, and it doesn't have to be connected to the topic, but we are looking for volunteers who would like to present a case, and and what that means is an issue or something that you'd like to discuss with the group that you want to get some input on, or if there's something that you'd like to share in your experience that could really be beneficial to other facilities. And that's what we're wanting to do. We want to make sure that we have that kind of sharing. So if you would like to volunteer, please let us know. It's really easy, and Jay Hobbs will be doing our case presentation for today, so you'll be able to see what that looks like. So now that the screen is shared, I'm going to let Jane introduce herself.
Well, good morning, everybody. I am Jane Oderberg. I have worked in the field of geriatric social work for over 28 years. I took a little detour for 12 years and worked in oncology. And I retired and didn't. I flunked retirement. So I am working at the University of North Texas Health Science Center, primarily with caregivers of older adults that with a dementia diagnosis by doing a class that's for 6 weeks called Dementia Cares, and a support group which meets twice a month. All of it's on Zoom for the caregivers as well. So today we're going to talk about communication between staff and family. The learning objectives today are there to identify common family grievances, identify communication strategies, and identify ways to address concerns and avoid conflict. So my advice to families is usually building relationships with the staff. I know everybody on this call can come, a family can come to mind that when they walk in the door, everybody scatters. When I worked in long-term care, it always became the social worker's issue to see what was wrong now and what could be done to remedy the situation. But CNAs are a wealth of information. They understand your relative, like their likes, their dislikes, how to make them feel better, what their moods are, how they like to do their ADLs. I always tell people I'm a morning shower person. Don't try to give me a shower at night. I'm not going to be a happy person if you do that. So they know all of that. The activity professionals provide and organize games and different activities. And so they can answer questions about whether your loved one is participating or whether there are in-room activities like sensory stimulation for people who do not come out. And the charge nurse or direct care staff handles anything related to medications, medical procedures, and what treatments. If you want to know how your loved one is doing with sleeping or ADLs or how they're eating, the CNA who is assigned to them is the very best resource. Talking to them and treating them like somebody who is an expert, because they are, is a very good way to get things handled. Next slide. So, being patient is something that, you know, the daughter comes in and you can tell she's aggravated because mom has told her that she's not getting any vegetables with her dinner or whatever. Yet mom has dementia, but if mom said it, then it's true. And she comes in on a tear and won't be patient. You know, that's a question that has to be handled through dietary and also through the CNAs that know what's going on. Well, maybe mom needs to be oriented to what's on her plate because she doesn't see very well about what's there. I suggest that you ask and don't assume whether the person is available to talk right this minute when you're storming down the hall. And because there's not just your one person that you're concerned about that is in this facility. There are a lot of residents that they have to care for. And expressing thanks when you get an answer. giving out praise is, everybody likes an atta girl or an atta guy when they do something or answer a question or help. However, and check with management about if you think that a particular person has done a really extraordinary job, but you don't reward them with a gift because giving gifts is usually frowned upon. But you might bring in cookies for everybody to share, or have some kind of a thank you that is available to everybody. Next. So, 5 rules to mitigate problems. Investigating before complaining to staff or administration. Common complaints are very straightforward, and they usually have a fairly easy solution. Some of these might be roommate conflicts, the food, lost items. Stuff goes into the laundry and you never see it again. So those are things that can be handled fairly easily. Working to establish good relationships, again, with the CNAs, because they really know your loved one and you need to get to know them well. Family should be involved in the facility. They should visit often. They should attend care plan meetings, because that's the best place to raise a concern or to ask questions. Even if you can't be there in person, if you can Zoom into it or be on a FaceTime call, that's important. And don't miss important meetings. Being on the resident or family council is a good idea as well, to be able to work together with other families to have concerns addressed. When you get to quality of care issues, like skin breakdown, I asked a woman once, her mother, she had taken her out of the facility to a group home and she was losing all this weight. So she brought her back and she had skin breakdown on her coccyx that was really horrible. And I asked the daughter, did you not ever look at your mother? Did you pull the covers back and check her skin? And she said, no. Well, if she had, she could have reported that what was going on. And her personal hygiene wasn't being well taken care of. And weight loss and over medication are all things that need to be reported. And serious, I think they're all serious, really. The nurse or the doctor who's attending may be the right person to talk to for some answers. And if you're not getting the answers that you want, and you work through the pecking order of the facility, nursing home ombudsman will be your very, very best friend to be an advocate on behalf of your loved one. And it is, and keep you out of that arena and let them do the investigating. Next slide. It has been proven that staff conflict with family members can increase burnout, and staff conflict with family members can decrease job satisfaction. They come in and start screaming and yelling, and after a while you get kind of tired of being beat down. So hopefully you all don't have too much of that. Next. And these are the references that I used to make this presentation.
Thank you, Jane. I was just wondering if there were any questions or comments, and I have a kind of a follow-up question just to kind of throw it out there to everyone. What has worked in your facility in terms of just facilitating communication between your staff and resident families? Because I know that things can go awry, but we have ways that could be helpful. So just wanted to throw that out there so we can share.
Hello, everyone. This is Jay Hobbs, and I apologize for being a little late. Jane, you did a great job of reporting, and I just wanted to touch bases with something that recently happened to us, and all of you may even know that this has happened before. Susanna, is it okay if I share a little bit?
Yes, please share.
Okay. Every family member that comes into our facilities, they have, and I want you to think about this, name an emotion a family member might have after admitting their loved one into your nursing home. Think about that for a second. What are some emotions that they may have? And then if you think about the first thing to do when a family member calls you upset about a care that their loved one is receiving, kind of think about that too. But some of the emotions are guilt. There may even be some anger, depending on what's going on. They may be, just totally worn out from being a caregiver. But a lot of times they will transfer some of this onto your caregivers that work in your nursing home. So your CNAs, your LVNs. We had a family member that was dealing with very many emotions, making this hard decision. And as a management team, you all and I can attest that there are times when some of these emotions are the driving force. And it is important to, get a better understanding of the resident and get a better understanding too of the family member. So we had a resident's daughter, and she would come in every day to visit with her loved one. And this daughter would come to see her mom, and every day there would be something wrong. Every day there would be little things like, where are her shoes? This is not the right ones. Who moved the laundry basket? It was supposed to sit right here. So every day the staff members would actually run when they saw her coming. And again, we've all seen that before. And so even though our staff members, would try their best to do what they thought was best to help this loved one when she was coming in to visit this daughter. But eventually they just told me, Jay, I cannot deal with her. And so what we had to do is go in and do some in-servicing and talk about what we just talked about. We talked about what are the emotions that daughter might be having? What are some things that are going on? But more importantly, what can we do to offset that? So hey, what a bright idea. Instead of running, why don't you go in there and meet her and say, hello, Miss Smith, how are you doing? Take the advantage of being proactive. Say, how are you doing? I just want to let you know that last night, your mom told us something that we thought was very interesting. She shared with us that your dad used to tell the worst dad jokes. And, so it was something funny and it was something true and honest. And so it was kind of interesting in that situation. But again, we had to do role playing with our staff members to talk with them about these things. And for example, good morning, Miss Jones. Your mother had so much fun last night. Or something like, we just got off the patio and had a great coffee. She had coffee this morning and she loves watching birds. So anything that you can do like that with the staff members to help them understand that instead of seeing her as someone who is just coming and always complaining, what can we do to go and be proactive and say, welcome, we're glad you're here. Let me tell you what's recently happened. A lot of people that come in as family members want to have that. What's her weight? How's she doing? Is she doing this? Is she doing that? Has she had any behavior? So if we're able to offset that with some proactive information for that loved one, it does really help. And again, it's just getting in there and truly knowing that resident, asking questions. Even this morning, we had a resident that was agitated. And when we talked to her, she said, I grew up and I was the oldest of 6 children, and I do not like being told what to do. And she, has dementia, she has Alzheimer's, and she was able to convey that someone this morning made her do something she didn't want to do. And it was take a shower. So a lot of times we have to do those things for those that cannot remember that they hadn't taken a shower, or that actually need at this point to go ahead and be encouraged to take a shower. And so she was very upset about that. As we sat there and spoke, the social worker was with me, and she knew that Miss Rita had had an experience of living in Mexico for 2 years and was married to a very affluent person that was in the government there. Just talking about that changed her agitation and her anger to where she was starting to laugh, starting to tell us a little bit about how big the palace was that she lived in Mexico, and to hear her also share with us about her dad, her mom and dad. She said that her mom and dad named her Rita, and she always thought that meant that she was Spanish, Rita. And so it was just very fun and very nice conversation to have, but we were able to take her out of that environment because she was very upset, and to be able to talk with her. So now if you have a family member of Miss Rita that comes in, you're able to share with her some information up front before scattering and hiding from this person, and then hearing what's mom upset about, So it's very important to help staff understand that it's okay to be proactive, to go and introduce yourself to that family member that comes on and share a little bit about what's happening during the day. So I wanted to share that, and I appreciate you letting me do that at this point. And again, I apologize for being a little late with my case study.
That was a
Well,
great,
thanks.
yeah, that was a great case study, Jay. I mean, that was, I would love to hear what other people, I have a lot of comments, but I would love to hear Carla, Holly, anybody else who has any, I did see in the chat that, Holly said, of course, it's important to listen and not make excuses, say you're sorry with anything. And, Carla says, introducing staff to the families right upon admission, making sure they're aware. I'd love to hear what other people's thoughts are on this case study.
And don't blame the other shift. That happens so often.
Jay, I didn't realize that you were sharing your case, so I apologize everyone for the delay in getting that up on the screen. But I guess to your question,